years and counting. This is Okanagan Sun football with Ryan Waters.
The Sun suffered their first loss of the season last week in a 23-19 setback in Nanaimo. Despite the loss, the Sun still remain in first in the BCFC thanks to the tiebreaker rule. The Sun beat the Raiders by 8 at the Apple Bowl, and the Raiders beat the Sun by just 4. Which keeps the Sun atop the standings. Head coach Pete McCall says he was somewhat happy with the way his team performed.
Well, yes and no. I mean, they did show a four-quarter effort. They never gave up, and we never packed it in. And unfortunately, we weren't able to score on the last play of the game, and that's a heartbreaker sometimes. And after the week before, I think we were a little bit overconfident, and that showed up on the weekend there in that scorching heat. So, big picture, though, I think there's a lot of room for improvement, and the guys realize that now, and it'll keep them in line here for the second half of the season.
Watching your pivot, Bobby Davis, go to work, especially in that last drive, I thought he showed some great poise. Will that help him down the road?
Oh, absolutely. I was saying the same thing to Matt Sherwood the other day there. There was a couple passes there at the end that just weren't quite there, and those are shots that he's taken now. And the next time he comes back to those plays, that he'll put a little more air underneath it and execute a little bit better.
After back-to-back against the Raiders, now you won't see those guys until a potential playoff game. Is it a bit of a letdown now that you won't see them anymore?
Yes and no. I mean, it is tough to get ready for Chilliwack after 2 weeks like that, and I'd be liar to say it isn't. But we're going to do our best to improve in-house, and we know that way down the road there that we will run into the Van Island Raiders again, and that's a game that we'll want to be a better team for.
Well, you touch on you got to face Chilliwack now. How have you kept your guys motivated?
Well, there were some problems on the offense and defense in that game, and we called some people out, and we're looking for some of our backups to get an opportunity in the next 3 weeks here to maybe fight for a spot, maybe see a little changing of the guard there at some different positions, and I think that in itself will get everybody fired up a little bit.
Well, you look at Chilliwack. What do you know about them?
Well, they're struggling a little bit. They've had a tough go at it so far, but the game film I was watching last night, there were some nice looking plays there that just weren't executed, but they're there, and it's just a matter of time before they'll get things on page and be performing better. And everybody loves to play the Okanagan Sun, and I'm sure that they'll tie the cleats up tight and give us the best game they can.
You want to shore up a few things on offense and defense, it sounds like, but what do you want to try specifically to accomplish this coming weekend?
Well, it's the execution as always. We'd like to see an improvement in our running game. We'd like to be able to come out and run the ball a little bit more and have success at that. With that opening up the passing game, and we'd like to look at some of the we'd like to look at Taylor this weekend, and there's a number of other backups that are just on the bubble there pressing to start, and we know that they'll get an opportunity this weekend. So it's a chance for everybody to take some chances and show us what they got.
One of the reasons the Sun have the best defenses in the league is the play of defensive back Jesse Warawa. The veteran is tied for the league lead with 4 interceptions and is part of a defense that has allowed the fewest points in the league with 55. Warawa, who had his 4th pick of the season last week, is disappointed with the loss on the island.
It would have been nice to go in with a victory, but we definitely got outplayed, and the scoreboard showed it. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, but the bottom line is we lost, and that's it.
Extremely hot day in Nanaimo. How were you affected by the heat?
Well, I actually thought it was going to be an advantage at first because we are the Okanagan Sun and we're used to the heat, and Nanaimo is not. But the first half of the game, they had a tent, and we didn't have a tent, so we were shadeless, and that really did take a toll on us. But I'm not going to blame a loss on the heat.
Some silver lining, though. You lose, but you only lose by 4. You beat them by 8 the week before. Did that make it a bit of an easier pill to swallow on the drive home?
Oh, definitely. Knowing that we're going to most likely play the playoffs at home makes it a much easier pill to swallow. I mean, when you play back-to-back, it's points for and against, and I'm just glad that we won the overall competition. Turning
your attention to this week, you've got the Chilliwack Huskers, 0-4 Chilliwack Huskers. Is practice the same intensity as the last couple of weeks preparing for the Raiders?
Actually, practice has been very intense. I'm not sure if it is the fact that we're going up against Chilliwack or the fact that we just lost and Nanaimo kind of made us a bit sour, but practice is at an all-time high right now, and we're going full equipment at least 3 days a week, so it's good, and we're going to use this anger to make us a better team.
Well, how do you keep focused when you play a team like Chilliwack, a team that you should beat handily?
Well, it's hard. It's definitely harder, but we're athletes, and this is not our first year of football. I mean, we're all used to playing good teams and bad teams, and I mean, it's nice to get some stats on the stat sheet. You can use that as motivation, or just the fact that once again, take out your anger on the loss that we just played and use the motivation on Chilliwack and hand them a whooping.
Well, there's that motivation. There's the stats motivation as well. You're a veteran on this team. Are these kind of the games that are a little bit scarier because these are games that you should win?
They are scary because you can always play down to a team's level, and that's the last thing that we'd want, is to play to a team's level, and no one wants to get embarrassed by Chilliwack, and it's always in the back of our minds. But I think with the way practice is going this week, we should be fine.
Next up for the Sun is the 0-4 Chilliwack Huskers at Exhibition Stadium. The Huskers have scored 54 points less than the Sun and have allowed 106 points more. On paper, it's a mismatch, but Huskers head coach Luke Atchison says his team is starting to make strides in a rebuilding year.
Well, it's tough. We're hoping to win the game, but we are, it's tough to see in the win-loss column, but I feel like we are getting better each week. We are improving on some little things, and that's kind of our situation. We're an improving team, and we're looking to get better each week, so we need to continue to do that.
This team still having fun?
We are still having fun, as we speak, and I know it's late, but we're on the field. We're going through some conditioning and still got 50 guys out, and they're hooting and hollering and having a good time right now.
You draw the Okanagan Sun this coming weekend. What have you worked on in practice to face the Sun?
Well, we just the things that we've seen on tape, things that we need to be prepared for offensively and defensively. With the Sun coming in, they present certain issues that we need to take care of, and we're working on getting better and getting ready for them coming in here. We have never beat Chilliwack Huskers have never beat the Okanagan Sun, so our team is pretty excited at the opportunity to make history this week.
Who needs to have a big game for that to happen?
Well, I think our offensive line needs a big game for that to happen. They have a very strong front four and front seven, so we've got a challenge there. We're working hard to meet that challenge. I think defensively as well, our front seven and secondary need to have good games and kind of be on point with their assignments. The Okanagan's they're looking pretty good this year. You can't deny them that. You got to take your hat off to them, but we're going to be ready to give them a game when they show up here Saturday.
It'll be a challenge of their mental preparation as the Sun and Huskers kick off at 7 o'clock on Saturday night at Exhibition Stadium in Chilliwack. Catch the play-by-play live on AM 1150 or right here at OkanaganSun.ca. Until next time, I'm Ryan Waters.